Jen.
Hello.
So I met Jennifer at something that I'm part of. You might have heard me mention it before. It's called the Professional Speakers Academy. And it's kind of an entrepreneurs group, really, with the sort of focus on speaking and things as well. But we met our eyes over a crowded coffee room, didn't we? And that was it. It was over coffee. Oh, don't bring back all those memories. And we just got chatting and realised that actually, although we've got like very little in common, we've actually got loads in common as well. Because Jenny, to give you a bit of background, is an unbelievable expert in Instagram. But her background is actually in coaching salon businesses, and salons how to do it. So just so that you know how relevant this is today, we thought Jen would come along and share with you some hints and tips and secrets about Instagram and how you guys can be using it, whether you're a rider, whether you want sponsors and ambassadorships, whether you've got a business that you want to promote using Instagram, and also to tell us why we need to be doing that. So welcome, Jen.
Hey.
Tell us a little bit about yourself then, a little bit about your story that brought us across that crowded coffee room when our eyes met.
That moment. Okay, a little bit about me. Well, I'm Jennifer Louise. I am a salon owner. I've had a salon for 16 years, and I nearly lost my business because I knew how to cut amazing hair, but I didn't know how to run a business. And I stumbled across an education company that coached salons how to run a business, and I learned how to do it, and my business became great. But then there was one fundamental thing. I knew how to deal with the numbers and how to be a business woman, but then I couldn't get bums on seats. So there was this whole marketing thing that just kept sort of sitting on my shoulders, and I was aware that, you know, I'd taken my cut and finish price from like £29 to 67 quid, and I'd done all this stuff, and we were making good money, but I didn't have enough clients to make exceptional money. And my fascination grew around marketing, and I started to play with, first of all, Facebook. And I remember sitting on my sofa and my ex-husband being like, what the frigging hell are you doing? And I was literally running my business on Facebook, like all night long. I would be getting messages and making bookings, and it was just phenomenal. And that was really the starting point of me learning how to do social media. And then Facebook got a bit salesy, and, you know, everyone kind of got a bit fed up with it, and I got fed up with it, and Instagram popped up, and so I moved to Instagram and really just learned how to, and it's a completely different site. Although it's owned by the same person and it's social media, it's completely different as to what you would put out on both accounts. So I had to relearn social media all over again, but I really enjoy it, and it's become my passion. And I believe in a past life at some point I was a marketer, and it's trying to get out of me. So now I coach salon owners how to market their business.
That's really cool. And I love the fact as well that it probably resonates with a lot of people on this, that actually you were really good at cutting hair, but you didn't really want to do it. And well, you sort of did, not really. And then actually you ended up with this business that you had to run. And I think that's so key, certainly for a lot of riders and yard owners and people like that, who they start off loving horses and wanting to either ride them or look after them or whichever it is, and end up running a yard or managing a team or doing things that actually they were never trained to do. And then suddenly they've got to get clients and market, and actually, like, that's not where their skills lie, is it?
No. And I guess for you guys, right, and this is an outsider's point of view, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing for you guys, you know, you fell in love with a horse or horses, and it became your passion, and that's what you wanted to do. And then at some point the thought of doing a normal job became unbearable, to the point that then somehow you had to monetize what you loved in order to live a fulfilled and happy lifestyle. So I suppose it's yeah, you're right, a very similar thing. Then all of a sudden it's like, shit, I've got to make this thing work. How do I make some money doing the thing I love? And social media is really key for you moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. And I love that. And I think one of the reasons that we fell in love, Jen, was because actually that's our shared story, isn't it? It's that, oh, I know, I miss you so much. No, we only see each other like 4 times a year normally, but hey ho. Although it was a little bit more, actually, I tell a lie, we've been going to a few more conferences recently, haven't we? But back on topic, is that I had the same story, which is, corporate career and all of that stuff, totally fell out of love with it, but was completely in love with horses, but had to try and find a way of making my passion create a business. And I kind of went off on a total tangent into the rider mindset thing, but I love it. So, but I still have to market it, still have to get clients, still have to do things. So let's talk a little bit before we actually get on to the Instagram stuff, because we do want to talk about that. It's a little bit about your mindset around business, because obviously that's the main thing here is mindset. But let's look into your mindset around business, around what it is that means you love what it is that you do and what it's really about for you.
Okay, so for me, my hairdressing is a want and a love and a need to serve. I'm making people feel happy. And I suppose when I fell into hairdressing, because I didn't choose it chose me. I was 14. I wanted a Saturday job. I wanted to earn some cash because we were really poor. I didn't have nice trainers like everyone else at school. And I said to my dad, I'm going to go get a Saturday job. And he was like, over my dead body. Okay, well, I'm doing it. So I went and I literally just dragged my little baby sister around with me the whole of the town. I was like, do you have a job? Do you have a job? Do you have a job? And eventually 2 people said yes. And they actually phoned me up when I got home, like racing to that phone before my dad got there was just, horrific. But one was a hotel company asking me, did I want to be a chambermaid? And the others was a hairdresser saying, did I want to be a Saturday girl? And I was like, changing beds, being a hairdresser. I'll do the hairdresser thing. And so it was only supposed to just be pocket money. But it ended up becoming my life. I suppose it's one of those things, you get into it, you can't get out of it. So my love was to serve and to make people happy. That's what I grew up on. And I suppose that feeling, that pain of nearly losing that business for me, I could see that happening in so many other salon owners that want to serve and make people happy, went from clients with a nice haircut to business owners in pain. It was just the client that shifted, and I moved with it. And because I knew how to do the thing that they were looking to do, it kind of felt that I was wrong not showing up and serving them with the answers to the questions that they had.
So I absolutely love that, because I think that's where we definitely share some values. It's about serving and helping others. And that's where I think the two of us get along so well, because in our different realms, that's definitely what it's about. It's helping others, serving others, helping them overcome problems. And we've got some of the answers that might help them to do that. And just quickly, because you mentioned that, it's the perfect opportunity right now to mention Horsey Courses, which is my little site that I've set up. It's not little, actually, it's growing. Where if you're an expert in something and you want to help other people, but you don't understand technology or you don't get this online training thing, you don't need to know about it. Just help more people by getting it out there. Because I know, Jen, you're a believer with me on this one, is that one-to-one's great. You can do a lot with one-to-one, but you can't serve that many people doing one-to-one. So you've got to somehow change your business model if you really want to serve and help people, to reaching the masses. And that's what you're doing now, isn't it, with your one-to-many products and things that you're doing?
Yeah, because here's the thing, right? If I was to work one-to-one, I could have 10 clients a week that I could serve, and they would want weekly touch points with me, and that's really upsetting that I can only serve 10 people. If you're creating courses and you're creating things that multiple people can access at the same time, I can help millions. Now, I'm building an online global training academy, and I want to touch the hair heart of 10 million salon owners. Okay, so in order for me to do that, I can't do one-to-one stuff. And so what I'm doing is pricing my one-to-one stuff way out of the price range for anybody, so that I can do it if someone's desperate enough to have that, but it's too expensive for most people, so they're happy to just do the thing that they can. I'm setting up stuff like Zoom calls and things that people can access me as well. So I'm there to help and coach, because I don't believe in giving somebody something and leaving them to it. Especially some of the stuff that I'm diving into, it's quite in depth. But I just think you're not serving the industry if you're just working one-to-one with just a few people. You need to get out there and touch as many hearts as you can.
I love the hair heart. That's lovely. Maybe we need to be touching horse hearts. So yeah, so that's amazing. Thanks, Jen. Okay, so if we're talking about then the whole concept of this is helping as many people as we can. Like that's what we want to do. And most horse riders, or certainly coaches, trainers, people like that, they want to help people. That's why they do it. So if they want to help as many people as they can, that means they've got to create something, haven't they? Whether that be a course or some way of doing it. A lot of them do, clinics, but again, all that means is you're just coaching a lot of people in one day, and that could be like 16 hours or something unbelievable worth of clinics. So that was kind of the traditional method, but now people have started realizing that group things, classroom-based things, that kind of stuff, and then getting it online is really going to serve so many more. So let's say they've done that, they've got that packaged, and they're trying to then get themselves out there as a business doing something that is slightly different in our world at the moment. And they've gone, okay, fine, let's look at this Instagram thing. What would you suggest would be a good way of them starting with getting their message, their expertise, whatever it is out there?
Okay. I'm going to give you two options here, Instagram and Facebook, because I've ditched Facebook for a very, very, very long time. It's too salesy. Like literally every time I opened up a message on Facebook, it was somebody saying to me, do you want to sell unique makeup? Do you want to earn a sideline? And I'm like, oh, no, I don't. Yes, I have a salon. It would be an ideal situation for you to place your products in my business, but I'm not here to sell for you. I'm here to serve my team and my clients. So I, like many, when done with Facebook, we moved to Instagram. Now, to build a client base on Instagram, you've got to show up consistently. Okay, I can't stress that to you enough for two reasons. One, because your clients will be looking for you at those specific times. So if you're saying I'm going live every Monday morning, and then you go live on Monday morning, and then you don't, and then you do, and then you don't, and they're not going to show up for you. So if you say I'm going live at 8 on Monday mornings, you be there at 8 on Monday mornings. You don't disappoint. But also it serves the algorithm. Now, the algorithm, Facebook and Instagram have played with a lot of algorithms over their times, and they've landed on one called Edge. So every transaction you make on Instagram is what's called an edge. So if you're liking someone's picture, that's an edge. If you're posting a picture, that's an edge. If you're viewing somebody's story, that's an edge. And every edge is accounted for in Instagram's edged algorithm. Okay, so it will say at the end of the day, Jen, you had 600 edges that you made. I may have made 6,000 edges. It knows, okay, but it knows when you make those edges. So not only do you need to show up consistently, you need to be on the site consistently, because here's the thing, Instagram is a business. Okay, it's not making any money from you being on there. The way Instagram and Facebook makes money is through advertising space. Okay, so if there are only 1,200 people on the site in an hour, let's say, it's only got the advertising space for 1,200 people. If there are 12 million people on the site in that hour, it now has the advertising space for 12 million people. So all those sites care about is how long they keep people on the site. So if you're creating engaging content and it's consistent and you're showing up on the site consistently, it will show your stuff to more people because you're keeping people on the site. Is that making sense with everybody? I'm not losing people. Okay. So it wants to know you're there for it. Okay, so when we show up and we're there for it, it will allow your content to go out to more people. If more people then like, comment or share, that's lots more edges that post has had. So it opens it up to more people and then more people. So the idea behind this is to be very consistent, but to show up and post engaging content, stuff that people want to talk to you on, like they want to comment, they want to share a like. And the thing is this, on Instagram, over the last year to year and a half, it's become very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like non-committed. So before we used to like everyone's pictures. And you may have noticed that you're doing this yourself. You would like everyone's picture. I'd be like, oh, that's a cute picture. That's a cute dog. That's an amazing seascape. Like whatever the picture was, you'd like it. Now we just go, we don't stop. We don't like anyone's stuff. We barely comment on anyone unless it's one of our best friends. So to get somebody to actually exchange an edge for us in order to get our content out further is really, really frigging difficult. Okay, so live on Instagram is brilliant because everyone will look at what you're doing live. Everyone wants to have a look. Everyone wants to see. They may not comment. They may not show that they're there, but they're there watching, and that creates an edge. So by going live, you're going to create far more edges and get out to more people.
Okay, so that's great. So our guys are sitting there going, yeah, that makes sense. That makes logical sense to me. I'm sitting there going, oh, really? Okay, fine. But that is why I pay someone to do this for me. So that's fine. It's not you. I just about to say it is Riviera, but hey, because they make sure that I am posting consistently. It's my stuff, obviously,
yeah.
But they're getting out there anyway. So, but the main thing has always been, oh God, I don't know what I've got to say that's engaging though. Like, what can I put that's engaging, especially when you have to be doing it all the time? So, what would your kind of thoughts on how you come up with engaging content be?
So there's two factors to this. First of all, you really need to know your Sue. Okay. And what I mean by Sue, your ideal client. Like, I'm not teaching you anything new here. You were told this. Every single business book you've ever read in your entire life says, go figure out who your ideal client is. And yet we just go, nah, I can't be asked for that. I need to get more clients. And we don't do it. So that's the first thing. You really, really, really need to figure that person out. I mean, I call mine Sue. It's just a figure of speech that I use in my industry. And I coach this in salons, and I've just broken it down and made it into an online course that it's going live next week. And I've been working on it yesterday and this morning, and I've broken it down so much that I was like, today I'm thinking, I'm fucking good at this. Actually, like, I'm not just good, I'm fucking good at this. Like, I'm just reading back all the stuff that's in my head. I'm like, Jesus, because when you're presenting, sometimes you don't know what's coming out. It just, like, I never ever go to present with anything other than the very first line that's going to come out of my mouth. After that, good luck, because I don't know what's coming and I barely remember it because I'm in flow, and it comes through me and out of me, and that's it. And if you ask me to repeat something, you'll scream me over because I'll be like, what did I say? But see, I've completely lost my trail of thought there.
You were telling us about how you work out Sue.
Yeah, so Sue, when you really, really, really understand her, and you really, like, almost stalk her, so you know everything there is to know about her. But I'm not just talking where she lives and how much money she earns and what car she drives. Yes, that's important, but I'm talking about what makes her tick. Where does she visit? So, for instance, one of the things that I was breaking down in this course this morning was my Sue loved shopping in Waitrose. Now, why does Sue love shopping in Waitrose? Well, when I started to visit Waitrose, because it's my local shop. So when I started to visit Waitrose, not to shop, to figure out what it was that they were doing that I could find a connection with Sue on, I started to look at things like, so they do a free newspaper. And when I started to break the free newspaper down, what was it that Sue was loving about this free newspaper? It was the fact that they did recipes in there, because one of Sue's highest values in life is making an amazing home life for her family. So by Waitrose tapping into that and making this free newspaper have lovely recipes so that she didn't have to think about, what do I cook this week? They were helping her live her highest values. So that's my first thing. Figure out who your Sue is and figure out what her highest values are in life, the top 3, and then figure out how to help her achieve them. Because here's the thing, right? Are we swearing on here? Yeah. No one gives a shit about your business. Okay, that's the God's honest truth. No one cares. When somebody comes to you in the beginning, all they care about is, can this business give me what I need for the price point that I perceive its value at? That's it. If you were going to go and buy a car, if you had £15,000 in the bank and you wanted a, I don't know, a white Mercedes, let's say, then you would go to the garage that sold the white Mercedes in the price point that you had the money for. You wouldn't go to the garage that you loved the brand and spend 20 grand when you didn't have it. Does that make sense to everybody? So all they care about is, do you give me the thing that I want for the price point that I'm prepared to pay? So we have to help her get what she wants. And whatever that might be for you guys, I mean, your businesses are completely, everybody's got different businesses, whether it's that you're helping somebody learn how to ride properly, you know, how can you connect with the brands that she loves and already buys into and figure out what they're doing that she really loves, your Sue, so that you can pull a little bit of magic out of that and put it into your business. So the free newspaper with Waitrose, we pulled a little bit of magic out of that. We thought about the fact that it was helping her with the recipes. We thought about the fact that it was creating community, because it was based upon Waitrose and partners and what they were achieving in their big business, because all of their staff are partners in the brand. So it was all those little things. And when we started to break it down and pull that out, it led to a monthly, a 3-quarterly, publication that goes out into the salon that has a recipe in it for a cake or something, you know, not a dinner, something nice, a treat, because she likes to treat herself, that has how to get her hair looking good, because one of her highest values is looking and feeling great at all times. That had a community element to it. So we just recreated what Waitrose was giving her that she loved in our own way. And then you can move that online onto Instagram. You know, you can put those, whatever it is that you're doing, the cake recipe, you can put that up as a story. You can make a whole highlight about all the cakes that you're making in the business, whatever. You know, it's just about connecting to what's important to them.
Okay, so that's cool. So we get to know who it is, especially if we're a business. But if we're a rider, we need to do the same thing for our sponsors. We need to get into the head of the brands and the companies that we want to attract. So if you're a rider, flip turn this. So rather than thinking, I'm a business and I'm trying to get my clients to me, flip turn this and think, I'm a rider, I want to be an influencer, I want sponsors, I want to be an ambassador. What kind of companies do I want to attract, and what kind of things are they doing, and flip it, right?
Yeah.
So that sounds great. But how do we not just like put loads of pictures of our ponies up then? How do we make it interesting and engaging and all these kind of things for them? Because it's unlikely we probably are going to put cake recipes, because I do know horsey people that bake, but most of the time they do that out of like necessity rather than time. So but you know, like how do we make sure our content is different, it is engaging? Like, what is engaging content? How do we create variety? Because there's nothing worse than looking at someone's Instagram account and literally just seeing the same picture, like, which mine a little bit like at the moment. Actually, it does need some change in, but that's because I keep putting my live picture in every time, and it fills up my grid. So I'm gonna have to think about that. But yeah, so how do you do that? How do you make it interesting?
Again, you need to think back to your ideal client, what it is that they really, really like and that they're engaging with. For instance, sorry, my son's just walked in. I'm loving lockdown. Hi, Sam. Kids around everywhere. For instance, let's think about, so you're posting horsey pictures all the time. You could put quotes on them, you know, in like quotes that people haven't heard, and you only really need to change 1 or 2 words for a quote to not be the same quote as someone else's. Okay, so that makes it a little bit fresher. Then I would do things like TikTok is phenomenal. Now I know everyone, I know. Do you know what? You're going to lose half your life if you start this bandwagon. However, you can make some really cool videos on there. And so if you guys are making stuff whilst you're on the yard, you know, you guys are all amazing friends on your yards. And so doing stuff like that is engaging and different. I ask lots of questions on a post. So it might not be that the picture's changing so much. It might be that it's the same picture in black and white, and you just ask a question in the bio. But it's that headline that you need to make engaging, so that people go, okay. What else could you guys do? Shout outs and thank yous to brands. So whatever brand of horse food you use, or because they will repurpose your content and get your word out there. Now is an amazing time to reach out to those sponsors. Okay, I'll share with you a little story. The beginning of lockdown happened, and I thought to myself, I had an hour to sulk. That's all I gave myself, because I had 2 businesses that were about to go down the pan. I had to shut them both overnight. I have a coaching company, you know, where I go and I coach in salons how to do Instagram, you know, and that's £1,000 a day. So, and that's just me on my own going up and down the country. I bloody adore it. That's how I love to spend my day. And then I've got a salon with 16 members that shut down overnight, that I then still have to pay their wages and all the bills. And I was like, shit, what am I going to do? Like, this is serious. I don't want to not pay anybody, and I don't want them to have 80%. I want them to have 100%. But at the same point, am I going to afford that? Can I afford to pay myself? Like, can I afford that to keep my house? Like, what's going to happen? So I had an hour, and I was allowed to choose a method of meltdown, and that was pour a large glass of wine and gulp it back. After that, I had to make a decision. And the first decision I made was, what do I want to come out of lockdown looking like? Now, my answer to that question was a brand new business model and a brand new person. And all the things that I'm scared of doing, or the things I wish I'd done, stupid little things like learning to eat with sodding chopsticks. Every dinner I'm eating is with a pair of bloody chopsticks, because I'm determined to teach myself. I'm not even joking. I'm like this.
I know, I've seen you. We have had Chinese, and I have watched. I think I've tried to teach you, actually. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's a useful skill, right? How does that pay the bills?
I'm doing all sorts of things, but one of the things that I was scared to do was, firstly, ask for help. I don't ask people for help. And secondly, was to reach out to people that I perceived like heroes in my world. And so I wrote down the name of 5 people that I wanted to interview that are famous in my industry, or full stop. And I just reached out. I just took the fear away and just messaged them. I was like, hey, I'm running this thing. I'd really love to interview you. Would you mind? And they were all like, and some of them were at bloody America. You know, we had to like literally work out 2 different time zones and all sorts of stuff. But it's just elevated me. And that type of content, bloody hell, that was a brilliant. So if there's sponsors that you want, who would make them stop and look up? Who could you interview that they would go, actually, she is somebody, and we need to connect with her? Or is there someone inside of that company that you know that you could talk to, that you could interview? Or just bloody reach out and ask them, like, can I do an interview with you? And when they're hearing your story, however you can weave what it is that you want the message to be from them, when they're hearing your story and they've got a personal connection with you, they are more likely to sponsor you.
Cool, love that. Brilliant. Okay, so just get over yourself then. Go and do some of the stuff you were thinking of doing, but you couldn't. I mean, that's why these Q&As started in lockdown, because I just thought, you know what, I've got an entire team of ambassadors for a start, so that's 20 of them straight off the bat. Let's just do some Q&As with them. They've got an amazing, incredible set of skills. They range from the very top to real grassrooters. We've had some unbelievably inspiring stories from that. I'd always wanted to do my podcast, haven't I? We've been on a marketing conference together, and I went, I'm going to start podcasting when I get back. And then lockdown happened. And what's the perfect thing to be doing during lockdown? Podcast. So I've started doing those. So yeah, definitely. I think if you're of that mindset though, but you have got a unique mindset, Jen. You're so driven. You are so driven. You know, it doesn't, no one's going to bloody stop you. You're like, no, exactly. And you're just like, I don't know. I just find you so inspiring and so like you just pick me up when I need it, and I know
Thank you.
But
I'll let you into a little secret, and nobody knows this, so shh out there. But one of the people that I really wanted to connect with is a guy called Bob Doyle, and he was one of the co-authors in the book The Secret. And we had an interview, and then I was chatting to his girlfriend, and then he's been messaging me like, can I share the content? And we've actually started to build really lovely relationship. And every time he messages me, I'm like, oh, Bob Doyle from The Secret's messaging me. So funny. But then he's reached out and he was like, I'm involved in this other book that we're writing. Do you want to write a chapter in it? Yeah, look at your face. So I wrote.
That's amazing.
I know. Like, I'm a 14-year-old school dropout. I'm dyslexic. I run a business. In fact, I run 2 businesses. I'm like creating content online that has to go to a guy out in India that spell checks everything for me. Because it just would read all sorts of stuff otherwise. And then I just read a book. Well, a chapter in a book. What the fuck? All because I got out of my own way and I sent that message.
Love it. And so what would your tips for people be on how do you get out of your own way and just JFDI people, just fucking do it?
Yeah. So my thought process is I write it out on my notes. Like, so then it doesn't matter because you're not actually directly in their inbox. You don't see their name. So I just type it out on my notes. Like, it doesn't matter. It's to anybody. Then I go away and I come back and read it in an hour. And if I like what it says, or if I don't, I change it a little bit. But then that's it. By the time I've got to that full stop at the end, it's copy, paste, send. Don't think about it. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? He's going to ignore the message. I didn't die. I'm no worse off than I was before I sent it. All right, I might be a little bit hurt that he didn't respond, and I might think, fuck's sake, that was just really shit. But the very, very, very worst that could happen is he sends a rude response back, and I don't like the guy anymore. So I don't want to work with him anyway.
And I love that. And I think that probably brings us on a little bit to why some people are a bit reluctant to do things on their Instagram or their Facebook, or to be out there, or to be seen, or to hide behind a brand and a business, or, to not be that amazing ambassador or sponsor, because they're worried about what other people will think, and the haters and the trolls. So we all get them. What are your thoughts on, getting over yourself, getting it out there and doing it? Because the haters and trolls are out there. They're out there. What would be your advice on that?
So firstly, let's discuss the haters and the trolls. They are assholes, and it says more about them than it says a thing about you. So firstly, I want to just put that out there. I also want you to understand that their opinion of you is none of your damn business. So over your head, chuck it in the fuck it bucket, move on. Don't dwell on it, because that hurts. Actually, they don't know you. They don't know anything. One of my friends was really badly trolled the other day. I won't go into the whole entire story, but it was by an ex-member of my staff, actually, who was not a very nice person. The girl that I sent out to Africa, because we build houses for orphan children out in Africa, and she was one of the girls I sent out there. And as soon as she got out there, she quit. She's just not a very nice person. And she was trolling my friend, and I was like, give me the account. And she was like, what? I was like, just honestly, I don't, because she was going to delete it. Don't ever delete it. Answer back. Okay, but nicely. Like, we was taught, Jenny was in the room when we was taught this. Literally act hurt. Like, whoa, I don't know why you're being so offensive. Like, I'm just trying to help some people out there with some amazing content, and I don't understand why you're getting upset with me. And then they'll answer back, and then you can be, whoa, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. And just keep like the sorry, oh, wow, I'm hurt. But actually what that does is it creates edges. So the more times they talk back to you and you talk back to them, the more edges you get, the further your content gets out there. So keep going. And then if they start to get really nasty, I just end the conversation with, thank you so much for your contribution to pushing my post further out for the algorithms and creating great engaging content for everyone to read whilst they're looking through this post. I really appreciate your input. And they just piss off. And there was a second point that I wanted to make to that.
It was about why would you not put yourself out there? So there was the haters and the trolls was one of it, but the other bit was why would people want to listen to me? Why am I special? What have I got that what makes me different? Am I even good enough?
Well, you've got a message, and that message needs to be heard, and you don't always know who hears that message. I get messages on Facebook every single day that at the beginning of this whole journey for me, I was crying almost every day with the messages that were coming through. Like, I've changed people's lives. I've put speakers in the room in front of them that they were like, oh my God, I need to work with that person. And they felt such a relief and such an enormous kind of, this whatever was going on for them is over, that they were like, oh my God, thank you so much, you're amazing, thank you, what please don't ever end this group, we need this group. And it was like, I've never even seen you show up. So firstly, you don't know who's watching and listening and watching on replay and that kind of stuff. But if you're struggling with it, I think the best piece of advice is the next time someone messages you, because the first thing everyone says to me is, I hate my voice. And then it's, I don't like seeing myself on video. And then it's, well, I don't have the right camera, or I don't have the right microphone. And I'm like, bullshit excuses. Like, literally, you're either committed to your bullshit or you're committed to your growth. Pick, because you cannot be committed to both. It's one or the other. And so the camera, you've all got one of these, right? Yeah, that's all you need. That is it. That is all you need. You don't need a microphone. You don't need the headphone set that come with these phones are good enough. You just put those earphones in and speak away to the camera. That's it. That's all you need. If you don't like your voice, the next time someone texts you, send a voice note back. Don't text anymore. In fact, forget texting. Jen and I, it's constant. Voice notes, back and forth, back and forth. You get used to hearing your voice. There's not a thing anymore because it's a natural progression. You just keep hearing it. Then you stop with the voice notes and it's video messages. And we're all on these calls during lockdown now. So, we're kind of used to looking at the screen and seeing ourselves and thinking, oh God, do I look all right? Exactly that. Like the bread spots. I've never eaten so much bread in my entire sodding life. Have you seen my skin? Like, Jesus. And look at this. These are my nails growing off the edge. I'm so pissed off. They're my real nails. So I could use that as an excuse. Look, I've got one on each hand. And I could be like, I can't do a video because, could you imagine if I didn't turn up and I didn't talk to you guys about Instagram? Some of you will have got some amazing stuff from here that you're going to go away and try. Hopefully all of you have. But if I turned around and went, Jen, I can't. Like, look, it's not happening. My nails are wrecked or my hair's a mess. You wouldn't have got that. So just get out your damn ways.
I love that. Thanks, Jen. And that definitely comes down to something I'm always talking about, and I know you share this with me as well, which is make your goals so big that the things to get to them are irrelevant. Like if you want to hit 10 million salon owners, how on earth are you going to do that if you're worried about your hair or your nails? And you're a salon owner, everyone will go, well, she's going to be worried about her hair and her nails, isn't she? That's what she does. And it's like, oh yeah, to a degree, but actually they want to hear what you've got to say. So if I don't post a photo of me and my pony, unless I'm in full makeup, my hair done and my pony's looking clean, for a start, I've got a grey one, so it's not going to happen. Secondly, most of us have got a hat head most of the time. Do you know the funniest part, Jen? You'll love this. So my mum, I love my mum, obviously, she's my mum.
She's your mum.
She has different ideas to me, and she's probably going to watch this at some point. So, hey, mum, different ideas to me about how you need to look. Now, she doesn't leave the house with makeup. She's very glamorous, and she has given me a sense of style that I am so grateful for. I don't think she thinks that I've taken on that sense of style, but I'd like to think that sometimes I do. And certainly when we're out at non-horsey events, you get to see my sense of style sometimes with my lovely long Fairfax and Favour over the knee boots and things like that. But she's mortified sometimes at the way I look on my lives when I'm walking the dog in the morning. Like I'm windswept, there's no makeup on, or like I've got a hat head, I'm wearing a baseball cap or whatever. And at first I did think, is this really how I want my brand to be represented? Do I really want to be really professional? Like what I do is serious stuff. Working with people's brains is serious stuff. Like, we can joke about it and what have you, and there is funny elements to it, but people need to trust me. So, I need to be this polished polished look. And no, I don't, because actually you guys that are listening and watching this, you're used to seeing us far worse than this, quite frankly, covered in poo or mud or, you know, sweat. And yeah, literally I've, you know, done that, or the horse has kissed me and I've got green dribble down my face, or the usual left boob, you know, horse dribble mark, things like that, because I have got a snogger of a horse and he's grey. So apart from the days when we are polished to perfection for show days, he's pretty disgusting most of the time. It doesn't matter how much you bath him, he'll go out and redo it for you. So, you know, I've definitely had to get over that. So what are your kind of thoughts on how it is you get over this stuff then? Because you've said just do it, but what is it to you that means that you do get over it and get on with what you need to do?
So firstly, I want to share something that I posted out yesterday. So I recorded a video yesterday, just literally on my phone. Hi guys, I'm going to do this, and I put it out. It's about this new course that the Find Your Sue breakdown course, mastermind mini course thing. And I was like, right, I'm going to record this. And halfway through recording it, and I'm like 3 minutes into about a 5-6 minute video, I had this little black bit there. Like I must have, I don't know, smudged a bit of mascara or something right there. And I had like this, I don't know, has anyone else's skin gone really dry? Like, what is this about? My feet are awful, like the driest they've ever been. I don't have dry feet. I'm like, stop. But I had this bit of dry skin about here, I think, where I keep blowing my nose. And I've just thought, fuck it. And I just carried on recording and I posted it out there. That video, 3 hours of it being out, made me £1,000. Okay, so if I'd have just gone, oh, I don't like it, oh my God, what if people see it? Like, oh my God, everyone's going to be looking at that. Nobody would have even seen it was there. So just get over that. The other thing that I would say to people is, obviously start recording your voice and start recording your face so that you get used to seeing it, so that it's not so much of an issue. But one of the things that I suggest to a lot of my clients to do is think about somebody that you love watching their lives or their videos, somebody that's really inspiring, that just crushes it every time they do it, and you're like, wow, that was great, and oh God, they always know what to say, and they always